that it's inevitable. You know?
To make you what? And the fact that you recognize that has what impact on you?
Well, I think it actually has an impact on the question you asked about what's more important to me. Because I think that's the reason why the things that are personal to me are so very, very important. Because it means that you can't really pin your happiness or how much you get out of your life on things that are outside of your control. And that's, one of the big messages to my son in this book.
I believe that totally.
That, whether you live to see, the fall and destruction of white supremacy in this country or not, you have to find beauty in your life nonetheless. It's very important.
I totally agree. And I think that's what comes through too in what you're trying to say to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta deal with the fear and find the beauty at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But you do believe that things can change with struggle.
They can.
As they have.
Yeah, they can change. Yes, I do believe that.
And do you go to France in part, other than to enjoy all the joy of France and Paris, to see if there is a different system, a different approach, or somehow a different point of view about these issues that you've been writing about here and here and here? No.
Not really. I mean,
You're just going over for a good time.
No. I go over to explore my love of the French language. I go over because it's always been important to me and my wife to have my son exposed to our son, to have him exposed to other things. We always wanted, our child to be bilingual. That's a big part of it. I do, just to, it's not, you're not completely off. I do go over there in the sense to see, how France deals with their problems.
Exactly.
It's not my expectation that I'll find.
Well, some say with respect to some problems like immigration, they don't deal very well.
I suspect that that's correct. I suspect that's very much correct.
You simply, if you were writing your own epitaph today, I assume that the thing you would like is the first word was writer.
Yeah, decent human, maybe. Yeah. Like maybe decent human and writer.
Decent human.
Yeah, and writer. Yeah.
Tell me about your father today.
My dad works as a publisher and a printer. Publisher and a printer just outside of Baltimore. I was just on the phone with him before I got here.
And what was the conversation about?
The conversation was about what contract I signed for that book. Because he knows publishing.
But what does he say? I mean, what does he, when he reads this, and he knows it's his son, addressed to his grandson?
Right. And he's proud. There's a degree of distance, and necessary distance, that I think he affords me to allow me to tell my story. And I think that's what he would say. He said that's Ta-Nehisi's story. If he were writing a book, he probably would, have it from a different perspective in a different way. But he's given me that space to write, which I'm, very much appreciative of.
The book is called Between the World and Me. Toni Morrison, to repeat her one more time, says this is required reading, and so have a lot of other people. My friend David Remnick and so many others have said this is an important book, and we ought to read it. In part for what he says, in part for what he observes, in part for the way he says it all. Ta-Nehisi Coates, thank you.
Thanks so much, sir. Thank you.
Great to have you.
What happened to David Remnick?
Back in a moment, stay with us. Peter Kiernan is here. He is an entrepreneur.